mean.
You're annoying.
Douchebag.
Annoying.
Annoying.
Shut up.
Hi guys.
Hello, welcome back to another mukbang. We got chopsticks. Now this could be a complete disaster.
Nah, should be fine.
Well, we're good with chopsticks,
We are.
but it's different when you're doing it, you know, on camera and talking.
That's what you were talking about,
So
yeah.
I got the backup fork. Have you got a fork?
I got one too.
Alright, we may
just
have
in
to
case it gets
messy and yeah.
Alright, what do we got?
Today's meal. This is a lazy person's sushi plate and bowl.
Before you're thinking I've only got one bowl, no, I've got a second one here.
Alright, so we've got some brown rice that we've mixed through with
rice vinegar
and some chopped up cucumber, carrot, some steamed broccoli. Not that you put that in sushi.
No.
You know.
This is just an adulterated version of a sushi bowl, isn't it? Yeah. I've actually got some black beans in mine as well.
Yours is a sushi burrito bowl.
It is, and we've garnished it with some black sesame seeds and some flax meal. Yeah. And then we're also going to top it with, well, at least I am, aren't I? You're going to, what are you going to do?
I'll show you in a minute.
All right.
What do you got? Nori sheets.
And I've torn them up. Well, you've torn them up for me, thank you, and just sprinkling them on top.
Yes.
Look, the thing is with plant foods, anything goes.
It really
anything
does.
goes.
You know, don't put them on all at once.
No, I know.
I did that last week, and the little piece of nori got stuck to the roof of my mouth.
Oh.
I thought I was going to choke to death. I'm like, this thing's not coming off. It felt like plaster in my mouth.
Yeah.
Horrific. Thank God it wasn't on camera. That was so bad.
Grab yourself a meal, guys, as usual, and eat with us. Let us know in the comments below, what are you eating?
Yes.
All right, let's get into this.
That's good. I put a bit of soy sauce on mine as well. You didn't put, did you want soy sauce? No.
For me, I find the saltiness of the toasted, roasted nori sheets is enough.
I like just a little bit. So, if you can't be bothered rolling up and making sushi, just put it all on a plate or a bowl. You're eating the same ingredients, it's the same flavour.
Lazy person sushi, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So what I like to do, half again. I just make quick little ones.
Yeah, it's like you're using it like a chapati.
Why not just add something else to the mix?
We've got Asian sushi rolls, Indian chapatis, and Mexican burrito bowls. It's all happening.
I like that. How's the broccoli?
Yes, good.
Oh.
I do like. Go on. I do like eating broccoli with chopsticks.
I was going to say, this is going to get really messy. I'm feeling it.
What do you mean, gonna get?
It already is. Because we've got a fan on either side as usual, so I just feel like everything's going to be all over the place.
So what have we been up to, guys? We've been busy.
Very busy.
Busy beavers.
Yeah. So we have, as always, got our notes here in front of us because there's so much to talk about. We have updated our recipe ebook. We have made some amendments to our health and lifestyle guide ebook. They're all down below. And we've also put together a resources list, our tools for healthy life and, what is it called?
Our tools for health and life. You were there.
There you go. I was so I've been working on a whole heap of things. They're linked down below. Check them out. And finally, we can sit down and make a video for you guys.
And today, the main topic, the main event, is roaming millennial.
Roaming millennial
versus vegan gains.
Very interesting stuff that's been playing out on the internet, playing out on YouTube.
In the red corner, we've got roaming millennial, arguably, potentially, intellectually dishonest somewhat, versus vegan gains. What do we say about Richard? What would his intro be?
He's standing in the corner of truth, of morality,
and justice.
Of ethics, of justice.
Yeah.
Yay, team vegan. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, we'll link all these videos down below.
Yeah.
The short of it is, a channel called Roaming Millennial made a video.
The problem with vegans.
it was very definitive. It wasn't my problem with vegans, it was the problem with vegans. So
a lot of vegans were understandably taken aback by the video, and a lot of response videos have been made. Go Team Vegan.
Yeah. And, it was nothing new. If you haven't seen it, you're not missing out on anything, because we're not going to respond to every point she made.
The same old rhetoric that carnists have been using,
for a very long time.
I
mean, we were talking amongst each other, when it first came out, and I said to Luca, I would be embarrassed to put this video up. I would be embarrassed to say I'm a proud meat eater in 2017, to put that kind of really silly, I can't call it logic because it wasn't logical. No. It was very stupid. Yep. Sorry, but I'm going to be honest. It was a stupid video.
It was, and full of a lot of untruths as well, which Vegan Gains debunked in his response video, which, mind you, was a 40-minute video, because when a carnist makes a 10+ minute video full of fallacies, logical fallacies and untruths, to do it justice, you've got to take each one of those points and debunk them one for one. Hats off to Richard.
Yeah, it's a big job.
It's a big job.
And everybody else who made videos responding.
Exactly, yeah.
So basically, as it's turned out, they've organised a debate on Saturday. Now, hopefully that still goes ahead when this video, our video, is made live. Otherwise, it's going to be old news. But fingers crossed. So on Saturday, Richard and also Isaac from Ask Yourself are going to debate
Roaming
Millennial.
Yeah. But there are some issues, aren't there, around the debate? And Richard made a video showing some messages exchanged between he and Roaming Millennial regarding the terms of the debate, if you like, and what they'll actually be debating. Yeah,
so we were watching that this morning, and that got us thinking, we'd like to throw our 2 cents into this. So that's why we're making this video, because as I said, we're not going to respond to everything that she said. But there was one thing in particular that I guess really got our attention when we watched her original video and now watching Richard's follow-up. Sorry about the cicadas, it's going to get noisy, we have to raise our voices. She was talking about
the
character of the vegan community.
And the behaviour.
Yeah. And I want to start off by saying that I think it's very good that they're having a debate.
It is.
I mean, it's healthy discussion.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting how this how this discussion is coming out and being played out on social media. Just opening it up to different perspectives, different ideas, and having this kind of discussion is very good, very healthy, making people think more.
Yes.
We were saying...
You're thinking of Carnage?
I'm thinking of Carnage.
Yeah. So recently we reviewed a film called Carnage. It's a mockumentary. We highly recommend you check it out. Links in the description. Anyway, set 50 years into the future in a world that's vegan, and looking back to the present day in our carnist society, predominantly carnist society. And it talked about how we got from where we are now to a vegan world 50 years from now, for argument's sake. And
these kind of discussions
is how we're going to get from where we are to where we need to be.
And also the fact that it was a mockumentary, so it was really having a good old laugh, using some comedy, to reflect on our carnist society and mentality. And when we were watching Roaming Millennial's original video, we were thinking, this is like one of the things that Carnage was mocking. I mean, it was so ridiculous that it was something that you would laugh at in 50 years' time, looking back and think, well, that was idiocracy playing out right there. That was just ridiculous. How does that come out of your mouth?
Yeah.
So,
and in Carnage, the person that was depicted as sort of leading the movement, the anti-vegan movement, if you like, as the vegan movement was growing, was a stereotypical older man. Meat is manly. We have a right to eat meat. We've been eating it for eons. Blah blah blah.
The old guard.
That's exactly right. And to see Roaming Millennial, a young woman living her life out on social media, where she's exposed to the truth, information at a rapid rate like never before in history, trying to sort of be an old guard and protect carnists' right to eat animals in 2017, knowing what we know. particularly because women are supposed to be more, generally
Yeah,
speaking,
generally.
connected to their empathy and compassion
Yeah.
than men, generally speaking. And especially being a young person, because it's the youth of today that are heading this growth in the vegan movement. So she's such an unexpected
Candidate for the old guard.
Exactly.
Having said that, she's also very clever and she knows what's going to get views, what's going to get attention, what's going to get people debating and all these response videos.
Yes.
So we're falling into her trap. But, again, as we said, this is how we're going to shift from carnism being the mainstream and the majority, shifting that 50-50 over to vegan being the mainstream and the majority.
Because
this has to go on.
The battleground is social media. That's where the battleground currently is. And it's a battle for popular opinion. Because as soon as veganism becomes 51%, for example, and it becomes the popular ideology, well then carnism, its days are numbered. And so this battle is being played out on social media.
So, the debate is good, the debate is healthy, we hope it goes ahead.
Again, it's like the 3 stages of truth, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The first stage being ridicule, and vegans have been copying ridicule for decades. But we're really moving away from that ridicule now because there are so many vegans thriving in all areas of life and sharing their lives on social media, and carnists are looking around at them and going,
I can't
happy,
really mock you
healthy.
anymore.
Yeah, I can't really mock you anymore. So let's oppose you, and that's stage 2, violent opposition. And that opposition is playing out on social media in the form of someone like Roaming Millennial's video.
Yes.
And then the third stage being acceptance as self-evident. So that's where we're going, which we'll talk about more today, won't we?
That's right. Okay, so Roaming Millennial has a problem with vegans because we're annoying, we are, what have we got here? We're mean, we're assholes, we are...
Douchebags.
That's a funny word, isn't it? Is that still used? I don't know. Obviously it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're douchebags, we're all of those horrible mean things. And they're the things that we wanted to focus on because the question is, even if that was true, can you justify, or does it justify needlessly stabbing baby animals in the throat? I don't think so.
That's not a moral justification to continue to do that, is it?
End of story. End of debate. It's done. We can even say, yes, vegans are douchebags. No problem. We agree with you. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be vegan because of that.
Yeah.
That is a side issue. That has nothing to do with the point of what veganism is.
But the problem is, Roaming Millennial doesn't define what exact behaviour she's referring to. Is she talking about violence taking place in real life? And if so, she hasn't pointed to any examples.
No, and if that was the case, then I think the vast majority, if not everyone, would say, well,
denounce violence.
Yeah, that's not okay. No one's okay with that. So,
ironically, what's happening is when vegans are protesting, there are often instances of police violence towards the protesters. So, if anything, it's the system, the incumbents, those protecting and upholding the abuse that are perpetrating, any violence.
So we don't know what she's talking about. Real physical violence in the real world. Or she's talking about, online words and just, you're being mean because you say meat is murder and you're a murderer and you're a terrible person because you eat meat. Like, what exactly, what kind of behaviour is she actually talking about? We don't know.
But she's purposefully not defining her terms when she refers to, behaviour. She's just keeping it very general and vague so that she can continue to make false analogies with, ISIS and militant and, the bombing of an abortion clinic by pro-life extremists or something like that.
Vegans aren't doing any of that. What are you talking about? What? And don't get us wrong. I mean, this is the thing. There are great vegans, there are shitty vegans. There are polite vegans, there are rude vegans. Vegans are just people.
Just like there are polite carnists and shitty carnists and rude carnists and, whatever.
People are people.
People are people.
When you stop eating animal products and stop wearing animals and, stop using them for entertainment, when you go vegan, You don't become Mother Teresa.
No.
You know,
You don't
nothing-
become a saint walking around with a halo over your head.
You can still swear, you can still be an asshole, you can still be a douchebag, you can still be all of those things.
You
You're
simply
just not-
have decided to no longer pay other people to needlessly kill baby animals. It's crazy.
So there's no
That's it.
doubt that there are vegans out there that, you know, are mean or are nasty or are whatever words that she wanted to use that she doesn't really define properly. But again, so what? That's
not a
an
moral
excuse.
justification.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we were thinking that would be the same as saying, you know, I've read comments on the internet from black people and they're douchebags. They're really nasty. They're nasty comments and they're saying things that I don't like. So that, therefore,
I'm justified to be racist.
yeah, that's
Ludicrous.
ridiculous.
Nonsensical.
No one would ever put up
illogical.
with that. But if it's vegans and if it's animals, well, then anything kind of goes. But you wouldn't say that about any other group of people,
No.
you know, because you just wouldn't. It's just not right. So from what we've sort of read and heard, there may have been a comment that was directed towards roaming millennial, something about
Allegedly.
you should be anally raped if you eat meat, something like that. Now, if that comment was said, first of all, you don't know if that actually was from a vegan, okay? Because there are a lot of trolls out there posing to be vegans just to stir up this kind of
Animosity
debate
towards
and-
vegans as well. And
yeah,
making
like give you a really bad reputation. Look how
Exactly.
violent and extreme they are.
Yeah,
That's an awful thing to say.
you don't want to be associated with them, you know, don't ever go vegan, otherwise you will be associated with people like that.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot put it past the immensely wealthy and powerful animal agriculture industry to be paying some of these anonymous trolls to leave comments posing as vegans, making vegans look bad. If you doubt what we're saying, take the egg industry, for example. When Hampton Creek brought out their Just Mayo that was eggless and started to take away market share from, you know, mayonnaise that contains eggs, what did the egg industry heads say?
Well, they were emailing each other and made a joke, what if we put a hit out on Hampton Creek?
The CEO of Hampton Creek.
Now, if they're going to be laughing and joking and who knows how serious they were about murdering someone, you think they can't pay some trolls to
Pose as vegans and stir up some trouble online, making vegans look bad.
Of course
Please.
they can do that. So I've never met
After
a
all,
vegan.
they're the ones that have the most to lose
That's
by
right.
transitioning from society, transitioning from carnism to veganism. They stand to lose billions of dollars.
Because, I mean, realistically, vegans aren't that stupid to say something like that.
That would
You know,
hurt.
they don't-
That would hurt their cause.
Yeah. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, what about the activist Gary Yourofsky, who many years ago said something, said something along the lines of that people should experience anal electrocution if they still wear fur. Now,
Because that's how a lot of fur is obtained,
Yeah.
by anally electrocuting the animals.
that's right. I'm not going to justify what Gary said, not at all, but it was taken out of context. And to put it kind of into context, what he was saying is that if you're prepared to wear that fur, then you should also be prepared to experience what the animal experiences.
Exactly.
So aside from that example, I don't know how many vegans are actually making those kind of comments, you know, like really vegans, not trolls. Now, this got us thinking about the Yulin Dog Festival. Because if you've ever been on social media, especially on Facebook, and read comments from cunts, from non-vegans, leaving comments about the Yulin Dog Festival, oh my God, they are
They're wishing
disgusting comments.
the exact same things upon the Chinese committing these atrocities that the dogs experience. So, you know, to be caged, to be tortured, to be boiled alive, to be, you know, chopped up. But if you don't also criticise them for being mean, arsehole douchebags, then that's a double standard, isn't it?
that's
Because the only
right.
thing that's different here is species.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, roaming Millennial was talking about sentience hierarchy amongst species and what have you. In one instance, she said, you know, but if a vegan says to me, you know, killing my neighbour is the same as killing a fly, you know, I'm sorry.
No vegan's ever said
No
that. That'd
vegan
be
has ever said
ridiculous.
that. That's absolutely ridiculous. However, when it comes to, you know, food animals, you know, cows, chickens, pigs, turkeys, ducks, sheep, etc., fish, the only question that needs to be asked is, can they suffer? That's the only question we need to ask.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, and science, you know, I mean...
Anyway, the point is that all of those food animals that you've described
Yeah.
feel exactly the same way as the dogs at the Yule and Dog Festival.
As in,
So-
they can suffer.
Yeah, so there's no difference between carnists speaking up for the dogs and vegans speaking up for all animals.
Basically, if they can suffer, which they can, then, you know, it cannot be morally justifiable to needlessly kill them.
I guess where we're going with this is that if you've got a problem with vegans because of the kind of comments you're reading, that you should also have a problem with carnists based on the kind of comments they leave regarding the Yule and Dog Festival.
Another example, speaking of mean comments, we made a video for SUPERFRUIT, a very popular channel here on YouTube. A while back, they were eating, I think it was duck fetuses or something like that.
Balut or something.
Yeah, disgusting. Anyway, so their followers and viewers came over to our channel and left the most disgusting comments. You can have a read through it. And we also received some of the more disgusting ones via direct message on Instagram. You know, just detailing the most disgusting things that they wanted to happen to us.
Really explicit, because SUPERFRUIT, they're gay, so they have a
Large gay following.
and they just got really, really, really
Explicit.
graphic, you know, and
Not
they
that all gay people are explicit, but they got very, very
they just
explicit.
they for some reason went down that route, and yeah, the comments were definitely probably the worst that we've ever received.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had death threats, we've had rape threats, you know, more broadly and generally. Every morning we wake up to something of kill yourself, your cancer, or whatever.
Exactly.
So
But-
it
but
goes both
It does.
ways.
But would that morally justify us to be homophobic?
Of course not. Of course not. We're not going to say that just because the comments they left were revolting, you know, and violent.
Are we going to make a video titled The Problem with Gay People? Of course we're not.
So that was just what we were reflecting on. You
Yeah.
know, you have to understand that vegans are on the receiving end of, I would argue, a hell of a lot more.
Definitely, because
hate
we're in
and-
the minority, and it's easier to discriminate against minority groups than it is to discriminate against the majority.
So, again,
And-
we're all just human.
Yeah.
You know, we all say things that are probably inappropriate at times. We all have our moments, but still doesn't justify immoral behaviour. Actually, by her logic, by roaming millennials' logic, she would actually be turning people away from carnism and towards veganism, because we were thinking, well, her video was so ridiculous. I wouldn't want to be like her. I wouldn't want to say such stupid things and have such a narrow-minded, very backward way of thinking. So what is she eating? Oh, she's eating animal products. Well, I don't want to be like her, so I'm not going to eat animal products. I'm going to do the exact opposite. I should be vegan. You know, if you're going to turn people away based on your comments and what you're eating, like, it just, did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also, we saw a comment, didn't we, on
did.
Richard's video?
Saying she found Richard's video
Yeah.
via Roaming Millennial, and she's not vegan.
No.
But Roaming Millennial's video was, as I said,
So
so
off-putting
stupid.
and turned her off so much.
And
And
she
full
kind
of
of
such...
opened up to what Richard was saying. So
Yeah.
I guess thank you in a weird way. Roaming, I don't know. But, oh, there we go, missed my mouth.
Basically, one of the cruxes of Roaming Millennial's video was what she wants is silent vegans. And she wants to create social pressure to silence vegans. You know, the only good vegan is a silent vegan, for example. As soon as you open your mouth or go to type anything vegan related, mean,
You're annoying.
douchebag,
Annoying.
annoying.
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was very dramatic. She said at one point, you know, hate to break it to you, basically, vegans, but we don't care about your diet. We don't care about what you're eating. And what she doesn't understand is that it's not about carnists worrying about what vegans are eating. It's us vegans being concerned about what carnists are eating.
Yeah, or who carnists are eating.
That's right. Flip that around. So, yes, we're always going to speak up because there is a victim involved and we care about the victim. We also care about you and your health, and we care about the planet that we collectively live on. So it's not your personal choice to eat someone else's body because there is someone else involved there.
Exactly.
And it's not your personal choice when what you put in your mouth screws up the planet that we all have to live on. You know, if our air and water and soil, etc., is contaminated because of what you're putting in your mouth, well then what you put into your mouth becomes our business.
Exactly.
And we have a right to speak up and say, hey, I'm sorry, but that's not okay. You're not being mean and an asshole and a douchebag to let someone know that they're doing something wrong. that's not being mean. That's just being.
It's only seen as wrong if you're the person doing the wrong action. You know?
It's just speaking up. And
Exactly.
speaking up, it's important to do.
I'm switching to a fork. It's too slow.
Dumped it. I'm enjoying it.
All right.
My fingers are cramping. It's taking too long.
And I think I should upgrade to a spoon as well.
Get on with it.
Get on with it. So we can talk about different forms of vegan advocacy, animal advocacy, vegan activism, whatever you want to call it. You know, how vegans go about speaking up for animals. We can, you know, that can be spoken about all day. It's very annoying when any criticism is coming from a carnist, because the carnist is seeing things through the carnist filter and doesn't understand the perspective of a vegan who's, you know, putting themselves in the animal's position and speaking from that position.
Well,
So
basically,
they can.
yeah, I was going to say, if you're a carnist and you don't like a particular style of vegan activist, then that's fine. There are a multitude of different people out there speaking from all different, you know, perspectives and tones and coming from all different walks of life.
Which, as we say, is always needed because everybody out there in mainstream society is coming from all different walks of life.
So find which person speaks to you, but the message is the same.
And not liking a particular person's delivery, behaviour, advocacy, what have you, is not a moral justification to continue needlessly paying people to kill animals.
And if we're going to judge people's character and their behaviour, then I'm really confused about roaming millennial, because she spoke about she's a proud meat eater, which of course, what is there to be proud of?
I mean,
Where do you go? Where do you go? Stabbing babies in the throat. Well, actually paying someone else to do the dirty work of stabbing babies in the throat.
which apparently is not the same, according to roaming millennials, you know, logic, if you like. If you're not doing it, that's not the same as the people actually doing the act. They're the ones that, you know, people should be critical of, and they're the ones that should be criticised.
Not the people paying for the action.
The action wouldn't be taking
Yeah.
place if you weren't paying for it to take place.
Yeah.
You know, that isn't, I think in a court of law, the person who pays the hitman is levelled a sentence somewhat similar to the actual person who carries out the crime, or if not worse, you know.
So she's talking about that on one hand. And she's talking about humane meat, which of course doesn't exist. But then
Humane slaughter is an oxymoron. If it's not good enough, I mean, you know, to be done to a human, then, you know, how can it be humane?
you can't. Nothing humane happens in a slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse, a house of slaughter. Humane, you know, obviously nothing's
Oxymoronic.
going together. Then you check her Twitter and she's promoting KFC. So
Every
KFC,
single chicken that comes out of KFC has come from a factory farm.
I mean, that's the lowest. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel there. That's the nastiest shit you can ever imagine. So you're talking about we've got to do things the right way and not factory farms, but then you're eating KFC and promoting it on your social media.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of things going on in her behaviour and her character that we can all be very critical about. And of course, we're just using her as an example because we've all experienced this and we've all been there.
And that's what we were saying earlier this morning. You know, wind the clock back, you know, 6+ years. We could see ourselves potentially making the kind of video that Roaming Millennial made. But, you know, 6 or so years later, knowing what we know, having seen what we've seen,
No, just no.
no.
Yeah.
So to wrap this all up, guys, Roaming Millennial, our main message to you would be stop trying to shoot the messenger and focus instead on trying to hear the message. You know, for once, really put yourself in the victim's position, the true victim's position. You're not the victim here, the animals are the victim. And I think if you were to do that, you would agree that you would want vegans speaking out for you too.
Yeah, because no mean words on the internet, doesn't matter how bad they are, none of that could ever compare to it actually happening to you in real life. And that's what the animals are experiencing. So we really have to start weighing up words versus actions. So we sincerely hope that this debate does go ahead. Again, I think it's very good for this to be discussed on social media, and just to kind of draw out all these elements of morality and really get people thinking, can they really agree with her? Can they look themselves in the mirror and say, yes, because of mean comments that vegans have left on the internet, I think it's okay to pay other people to stab babies in the throat. That's what it comes down to.
That's the vegan position,
Yeah.
guys.
So, all right.
What do you think? They're our thoughts. Leave yours down below in the comments.
Yeah, let's start our own little debate down there. Share with us. It's starting to rain, so we're going to wrap this up now because it's going to get really noisy. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, give the video a like, share it around to raise awareness, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And don't forget to ding the bell and check the box to receive notifications for our upcoming content. Thank you so much for eating with us.
Yes.
Again, make sure you let us know what you ate down below too. Share your recipe so other people can try it out.
And remember until next time, that going vegan, it's not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye, guys.